Welcome back, friends, to another The City of Final Fantasy Opera Omnium video. Lids87 here, and in today's video, guys, I wanted to talk about the upcoming Lost Chapter for Golbez. But before I get into it, though, friends, please remember to like and subscribe, as it lets me know that you guys are truly enjoying the content that I make. Alright, friends, so on February 4th, UTC time, we are getting Golbez, his lost chapter. He's coming back, aka Swobez. I'm gonna call him Swobez. I call him Swobez because this guy just look at those pecs, man. Just look at those arms. Look at that helmet. Gosh, this guy's really buffed up, guys. This guy's really buffed up, Swobez. So on his event, Seven will be getting a rework. Seven will be getting an EX weapon, and she will be getting an EX plus. Swobez's EX weapon will be returning, and you can realize his EX weapon. Now there will be a free multi-draw on this, so if good luck. Hopefully you guys get some free EXs. Now, funny story before I get started is I started working on the 8 and King overview. Okay, because I wanted to do essentially this new format that I'm trying out. It's kind of like merging presentation with kind of like my after effect stuff that I used to do, just because of the lack of time that I've been having lately. And then as soon as I saw the slide, I was like, gosh damn it. I finished up the 8 and King, and then I was like, nope, they're not tomorrow. Tomorrow's Golbez. So we're still sticking to how I've been doing it, but hopefully by the next one, you guys will see this new presentation like form that I tried out for my previous JP video. So feel free to check that, guys, out if you guys want to have an idea of what I'm going to try out. All right, friends, so here we go. Let's get into it. So the very first character that we are going to talk about is Seven. Now, Seven is a melee type attacker. She is a crystal red affinity character, and she is from Final Fantasy type 0. Now you guys are going to start noticing that we're going to start getting like a lot of Final Fantasy type zeros, because the next event is going to feature 2 Final Fantasy type 0 characters on that banner. It's going to be 8 and King. So I hope you guys like Final Fantasy type 0. So let's get into her kit. Let's talk about her kit. So her first skill is called Snakebite and Lash. So Snakebite and Lash, it's a 4-hit melee brave plus HP attack with 150% max brave overflow. Now, after using this, she will inflict a stack called Snakebite for 6 turns. This can go up to 3 stacks. Now, what Snakebite does, this will lower the enemy's defense by 10%, negative 25%, or negative 50%, depending on the number of stacks. So at max stacks, this can inflict the enemy with a 50% debuff down in the form of a frame debuff called Snakebite. If you happen to hit an enemy inflicted with Snakebite, Snakebite and Lash will hit two times harder. Now, the only issue with her Snakebite and Lash still has is that if she attacks a different target, the previous target with Snakebite, that debuff will be removed, and then it will be reinflicted on the new enemy. So unfortunately, if you do decide to attack a new target, you're going to have to start working at building up those stacks up again, which I kind of hope they removed by this point with her rework, but it's still there, unfortunately, but it is what it is. Now, after using Snakebite and Lash, she will grant herself a 50% max brave up for 8 turns. Now, her second ability, Elemental Lash, is a 3-hit fire, ice, lightning, melee brave, plus HP attack. There's a lot of elements tied into that attack. It has 120% max brave overflow. This will inflict a 20% speed down to the enemy for 4 turns. If the target is inflicted with Snakebite, Elemental Lash will be executed twice. And after using Elemental Lash, she will grant herself a 30% attack up buff for 8 turns. Now, while 7 is buffed, she will get access to her Brave Attack Plus, which is a 2-hit fire, ice, lightning, melee brave attack, extra damage if she attacks an enemy inflicted with Snakebite. This will, though, increase the Snakebite stack by 1. So this is a nice way to increase the Snakebite stacks instead of just using her Snakebite and Lash repeatedly. Now, her additional ability is Debuff Attack Up, so for 4 turns, when attacking a debuff target, she will increase her own attack by 30%. Now, let's take a look at her EX weapon, Sleipnir Tail. Sleipnir Tail. This grants her access to the EX ability Sadistic Spites. That sounds naughty. Whew. Anywho, so what this does is a 3-hit melee brave plus HP attack executed twice. This has 120% max brave overflow, and this will deal 20% splash damage to non-targeted enemies. Now, at 3 out of 3 with her limit break, she will now get access to her HP attack plus, which is a melee brave plus HP attack, greater damage to those inflicted with Snakebite, and this will also increase the Snakebite stack by 1 up to max 3, which is now this is a little bit better for her, because instead of using her first skill to inflict Snakebite if they're already inflicted, With Snake Bite, she can now start following up with a Brave Attack Plus or HP Attack Plus to start building up those Snake Bite stacks. Now let's take a look at Seven's EX Plus. So at 0 out of 3, this gets pretty interesting. Honestly, 0-3 for her works out very well. I really don't think you guys need to take her much further. So we'll talk about this in a second. So at 0 out of 3, after using Sadistic Spikes, she will recover one use of Snake Bite and Lash up to its initial value, that's pretty nice. That's pretty nice. Units that can recover one of use of their abilities or both of their abilities, that gives them longevity. That gives them longevity in fights and makes them last that much longer. Now, also at 0 out of 3, what she gets is she gets access to her HP++. Now, what this does is it increases the number of Brave hits to 2, moderately raises total Brave potency, and this also has max Brave overflow limit of 120%. So as you guys saw right now with her HP Attack Plus, this will still increase the stacks of Snake Bite by 1. Now, again, friends, like if you're not an absolute fan of 7 and you do want to invest in her, I could potentially see you guys leaving her at 0 out of 3 because I really like what 0 out of 3 does for her. Now, at 2 out of 3, this one is really up to you, so to say. So at 2 out of 3, this part right here, now this part I don't like. I don't know why they didn't include this in the base part of her kit. So after using Sadistic Spikes, she will inflict 2 stacks of Snake Bite for 6 turns. Her whole kit evolves around Snake Bite. Why are they forcing you to use ingots to gain access to this? A lot of these other units, if they have some form of mechanic like that built into their kit, you inflict said debuff or unique frame debuff at the base form of their kit. Why are they putting it at 2 out of 3? You gotta spend 2 ingots to get access to this. So I don't know, friends. I don't like that. I mean, it is what it is. It's already in the game. Again, I don't like that. But so this right there right here might be the saving grace. When battle starts, so essentially each wave, so the start of each wave, one random enemy will be inflicted with 1 stack of Snake Bite, which isn't bad. That's not bad. It saves you a use of her Snake Bite and Lash. So you could automatically start going right into your HP Attack Plus or Brave Attack Pluses to essentially burst down the trash waves, right? Or if you reach one of the mid bosses or the final boss, either of the enemies will already be inflicted with Snake Bite. So me personally, I would probably leave her at 0 out of 3 because I love what it does already. HP Attack Plus recovers 1 use of Snake Bite and Lash. I mean, you're gonna be using Snake Bite and Lash, right, to inflict the debuff. So that would be the only thing. Try her out. If you're not liking that her EX Plus is not inflicting the Snake Bite debuff, then take her to 2 out of 3. But other than that, me personally, I would leave her at 0 out of 3, but that's just me. And at 3-3, it just hits harder. This ability will hit harder. Now, her bonus sphere is a type A bonus sphere, and when she's hitting an enemy's weakness, she will increase her brave damage dealt by 10%. Now, let's take a look at her artifact passives. Of course, you want attack 108. You want her C50, eyes on everything boost 2, which raises int brave, max brave attack, defense by 5%, so you can't have this all the way up to 15% total when an enemy is inflicted with Snakebite, which is pretty much all the time. You're going to have the enemy inflicted with Snakebite at all the time, especially if you take her 2 out of 3. So again, friends, attack 108, C50, max brave 330 for 7. All right, friends, now time for the main characters on this banner. It is Swoboda. Swabez, he is a Black Crystal Affinity character from Final Fantasy IV. He is a melee magic hybrid type attacking unit. He hits hard, guys. He hits hard with his EX Plus. Holy crap. He hits hard. He hits really hard. So let's get into it. So his abilities work on stacks, okay? So let's get into it first. So when using Rising Wave, his first ability, it is a one-hit Dark Melee Brave attack, followed by a one-hit Dark Magic Brave attack, ending with an HP attack. This has 120% max Brave overflow. This will grant him 2 stacks of Shadow Dragon for 4 turns. Max stacks is at 3. What Shadow Dragon does, it's his unique buff and frame buff that will increase his attack and max Brave by either 10%, 20%, or 30%, depending on how many stacks he has. This will also grant him a 40% max Brave up to himself for 8 turns. Now, while Shadow Dragon is at 2 stacks, Rising Wave will turn into Rising Wave Plus, which he does the previous damage, his own damage, right? So now Shadow Dragon, his little pet dragon that flies around him, gets in on the action. So after Golbez attacks with his Rising Wave, then this will add a one-hit dark melee brave attack followed by an HP attack by Shadow Dragon. This will also increase the stacks of Shadow Dragon, and this will still grant him a 40% max brave up effect to himself for 8 turns. Now, when he's at Shadow Dragon 3 stacks, Rising Wave will become Rising Wave Plus Plus. So this just increases the amount of brave hits that Golbez does and Shadow Dragon. So in total, this is a 2-hit dark melee brave attack followed by a 2-hit dark magic brave attack followed by an HP attack. This is all followed up by a 2-hit dark melee brave attack plus HP attack by Shadow Dragon. But this does not grant a stack of Shadow Dragon, so you could lose your stacks if you're not careful with this one. Now, while Shadow Dragon is active, Golbez gets access to his Brave Attack Plus, which is a Dark Magic Brave plus Dark Melee Brave Attack. His second ability is called Glare Hand. Same thing with the Shadow Dragon stacks. So what Glare Hand is, now this is his AoE attack, is a 1-hit Dark Melee AoE Brave Attack plus a 1 Dark Magic AoE Brave Attack plus an HP attack. The HP attack is split evenly amongst all enemies. This will grant him 2 stacks of Shadow Dragon, and this will grant him a 40% attack up buff to himself for 8 turns. Now, while Shadow Dragon is at 2 stacks, he will get Glare Hand Plus. Now, again, Shadow Dragon is coming in with some action, so he does... Swobez does his own attacks, and then Shadow Dragon kicks in with a 1-hit Dark Melee AoE Brave plus AoE HP attack. Same thing, HP damage is split amongst all enemies. This will still grant him the stacks of Shadow Dragon and still grant him the 40% attack up buff for 8 turns. Now, while Shadow Dragon is at 3 stacks, he now gets access to his strongest form of Glare Hand, Glare Hand Plus Plus. Now, what this is a 2-hit Dark Melee AoE Brave Attack followed by a 2-hit Dark Magic AoE Brave Attack plus HP attack. Shadow Dragon will add on 2-hit Dark Melee AoE Brave plus HP attack. And again, as the previous one, as Rising Wave at the 3rd stack, this will not grant him a stack of Shadow Dragon, but this will still grant him a 40% attack up buff to himself for 8 turns. Now, his additional ability is Dark Enhance, which he will gain Dark Enhance effect for 4 turns, and he will increase his own max brave by 20%. So, I mean, all in all, it's Golbez and Shadow Dragon doing all the damage. They're doing a lot of damage. So let's take a look at Golbez's EX weapon, Obsidian Scales. This is repeating. This will be the second time we are seeing this. So if you did not get it before, now's the perfect time to get it. So if you don't remember from last time, essentially what he does, he drops 2 meteors. He drops 2 meteors in its base form. This will inflict Dark Resist down for 4 turns. The brave hits are magic though. Keep that in mind. It's not melee like his other attacks. It's a melee hybrid with magic. These are magic brave hits. So the Dark Resist down, that's pretty nice because now he's boosting his damage because all of his attacks are dark. He's hitting really hard. And the Dark Resist down is inflicted with the first set of brave hits from the first meteor. So he drops 1 meteor, does the damage, inflicts enemy with Dark Resist down, then drops another meteor for even more damage. This has 150% max brave overflow. HP damage is split amongst all enemies, and this will grant him 3 stacks of Shadow Dragon for 6 turns. So right off the bat, he's at max stacks for 6 turns. So go ham. This is where you go ham. Now, 2 out of 3, this is the best one out of these. This will give him more max brave overflow. Now, let's take a look at his evolved Obsidian Scales Plus. Now, at 0-3, he gets a really nice HP attack plus. It's a 2-hit Dark Magic Brave plus HP attack, followed by a 2-hit Dark Melee Brave plus HP attack by Shadow Dragon. So that's nice. So if you use this right after the enemy is inflicted with Dark Resist down, Golbez is going to be hitting hard. He inflicts his own element. He's going to be hitting hard. Now, at 2 out of 3, this is where it starts getting interesting. When using Twin Meteor, he will grant himself Atonement for Hatred for 4 turns. Atonement for Hatred, what that does is it will increase his own max brave overflow limit by 20% and increase his own weakness damage by 50%, so he's going to be hitting harder. Now, when the quest starts, now this is kind of funny. When the quest starts, he will grant himself 1 stack of Shadow Dragon for 6 turns, but his EX gauge is filled already to the max. I mean, his EX already grants him 3 stacks of Shadow Dragon. I just thought it was funny because a lot of the time you're just going to want to use that EX ability right off the bat, especially if you're on the first wave. Just get in there, do the damage, clear that first wave out, go on to the next one with Golbez's 3 stacks of Shadow Dragon to help him clear out the waves faster. And at 3 out of 3, he gets an additional meteor. He drops 3 meters. Man, with 3 Golbezes and co-ops, you guys are going to clear the co-ops really fast if you guys are fully purpled. Really, really fast. So for Golbez, he is a pure magic melee hybrid damaging unit. You want to take him to 3 out of 3. He is going to be hitting extremely, extremely hard with his EX weapon, friends. Very hard. I highly recommend you take him to 3 out of 3 if you're going to be investing in Golbez. Now, his bonus sphere is an A-type bonus sphere. Weak raging attacks. When hitting target's weakness, this will raise his attack by 2% up to 5 times, so a total of 10%. So 10% attack buff over time. That's not bad since he will most likely be hitting enemies' weakness, so you can build that up to 10% attack up pretty quickly. Now let's take a look at Golbez's artifact passive. So same man, all of these attack. You want attack when await. You want his C50 for him, Lunarian Descendant boost, which raises max brave and attack by 5% when Shadow Dragon is active. If you have all 3, this will give him max brave and attack by 15%, which is not bad. And of course, max brave 330. All right, friends, we are at that part of the video, friends. Should you pull on this banner? Ask yourselves, do you have Ultimecia? Do you have Emperor? If the question is no, yes, you absolutely must pull on this banner. Now, I only say that because Golbez himself, he's a very powerful unit. The fact that he can imperil his own element in this elemental imperil stage, so what that means, if you're coming into the game, what that means is if a unit hits an enemy's weakness with a certain element, they will do the full damage, even if their damage type is resisted. So the fact that Golbez inflicts dark resist down and all of his attacks have dark built into it, he's going to be hitting really hard. So like go into his additional ability, into his EX weapon, you're going to be seeing some really high numbers with this guy, some really, really high numbers. 7, she's not a bad unit, right? I kind of wish they did more with her kit. I kind of wish with her EX Plus she had other types of debuffs because it all revolves around her snake bite, right? As long as unit is inflicted with snake bite, she's gonna be doing full damage, which is great. She does inflict some defense down to the enemy, which isn't bad at all, right? Having that defense down, especially right now in the chaos stage, will help dish out higher damage to the enemy, especially when their defenses start getting really high. But I kind of wish she did a little bit more in regards to debuffs, because for some reason I feel like that's how they could have taken her in that direction, like a debuffing hybrid damage dealer, and that would have been so much better. So she's not a bad unit, but for me personally, the main prize here is Golbez. Will you be fine without Golbez? Yes, because unfortunately I didn't EX plus him. I didn't evolve his EX weapon. I didn't take him out at 3 out of 3. I got fine. Okay, did I struggle? Oh yeah, of course I did. But you can still get by without him. But I was using my Golbez support friends, and man, these guys can dish out some damage. They hit really hard. Golbez hits really hard. He is a really good unit to pick up, friends. But again, ask yourselves, do you have another strong magic attacker? But if you do, then this might not be the banner for you then. But if you do not, I highly recommend you guys throw resources at this banner just for Golbez himself. That is it for this video, friends. I want to thank you guys for joining me on my thoughts on 7 and Golbez. As you guys can see, I'm liking Golbez a lot. I like what they did with this kit. Me personally, I am going to be taking Golbez to 3 out of 3 when this event goes live. I did pull his EX weapon from when his event debuted like several months ago. So 3 out of 3 for me automatically. He's going to be really strong. It's going to be really fun taking him into co-ops. All right, friends, so be sure to let me know down below in the comments what you guys think, your thoughts on Golbez and 7, and if you guys will be pulling or if you guys are going to be taking either or to 3 out of 3. All right, friends, so until next time, good luck and have a good one.